television at its best.
In their regular season finale 2 weeks ago, the Pittsburgh Gladiators relied on air supremacy en route to a 50-30 victory over Maryland and a playoff appearance against Denver. There, they took advantage of the opportunity, knocking off the Dynamite to reach the Arena Bowl for the second time in 3 years. Defending champion Detroit has its ground game firing on all cylinders as Lynn Bradford leads the league in rushing. So it's the Pittsburgh Gladiators looking to dethrone the Detroit Drive in Arena Bowl 89. Welcome to the Arena Football Television Network Game of the Week. Presented by Ms. Lou TV Sports. Tonight from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan, it's Arena Bowl 89 with the Detroit Drive hosting the Pittsburgh Gladiators. Tonight's Arena Bowl 89 is being brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, by Budget Rental Car, the official rental car and truck of Arena Football, and Wilson Sporting Goods, the official equipment, football, and shoe supplier to Arena Football. Drive hosting the Pittsburgh Gladiators for the championship of Arena Football. Along with Jim Grabowski, I'm Dave Bennett. Welcome everybody to the championship game of Arena Football for 1989. Jim, it wasn't all that long ago that these two teams went head-to-head, and Detroit came out with a resounding 61-34 victory.
But you know, I talked to Tim Markham, the coach of the Detroit Drive, before the ball game, and I asked him just that question. You know, you beat Pittsburgh by 27 points. Is this going to be a walk today? He said, no way. Pittsburgh is a much better team than that, and they got Joe Herring back. You remember, he did not coach in that victory by Detroit, so that's going to be a big asset for Pittsburgh. It's going to be a good football game. I think they're pretty well matched up.
One difference these two teams had in their playoff victories: Detroit was an easy winner here in this building against the Chicago Bruisers. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, had a rather tough time taking on the Denver Dynamite out in Sacramento.
Means nothing, though, now. This is the last ball game. They're all healthy. A win's a win. I don't care if it's 1 point or 30 points. It's still a win. Pittsburgh wants some revenge. Don't forget that Joe Herring has lost to Tim Markham in Arena Bowl 87. They faced off against each other. Markham and Herring have faced off 7 times, and Tim Markham has the edge 5-2. So it's going to be a real battle between the coaches, too.
One thing certain about Tim Markham, he is the only coach ever to win an Arena Bowl. He's won the previous 2. Both teams have explosive offenses. Detroit, of course, has one of the most explosive players in this game, and number 27, George LaFrance.
Well, George LaFrance is the league MVP this year. Very, very explosive. But I think as a trio, they have the 3 best receivers as a trio with Mullen, Dixon, and George LaFrance. Now add that other dimension of the great running by Lynn Bradford, who set an arena record last week by gaining 91 yards rushing. That is almost like a 200-yard rushing game in the NFL. It's just extraordinary that a kid gained 91 yards rushing in this league. So that's another dimension. It's going to be a real plus for him.
All right, it should be a competitive championship game for Arena Bowl 89 coming up after these messages. Back to Arena Bowl 89, the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. I'm Dave Bennett. It's a pleasure to have working with us as well tonight the pro football editor of the Sporting News, Howard Balzer. Howard, nice to see you again. And Howard, you've seen the 2 previous Arena Bowls. How does this matchup compare to those of Arena Bowl 1 and 2?
Well, I think the interesting one, of course, this is a rematch of Arena Bowl 1. And the thing about that game, you guys talked about the offense, but defense was the key in that game. The one thing about a Tim Markham coached football team is they play tough defense. And in the first game, Pittsburgh was just taken out of their offense entirely and couldn't do anything. And really last week, in Detroit's win in the playoffs, Chicago only scores 10 points. So the real key to this game, I think, is whether Pittsburgh can get any offense going against that tremendous Detroit defense.
All right, we will find out shortly. Howard, glad to have you with us tonight. With us as well. We'll be back with the opening kickoff of tonight's Arena Bowl after these messages. Detroit is the setting for Arena Bowl 89. The Detroit Drive and the Pittsburgh Gladiators. And a revved up crowd here tonight, Jim Grabowski, for this Arena Championship game.
Certainly a partisan revved up crowd here in Detroit. They're very vocal fans, and we're going to hear a lot of noise here this evening.
Having the toss of the coin at midfield, there you see the captains for the Detroit Drive. Number 27 is George LaFrance. 84 is Reggie Mathis. 44 there for Pittsburgh. In the white is Mike Powell, along with 17, the starting quarterback, Willie Totten. And of course, the mascot from Little Caesars Pizza. The toss of the coin. As you see the referee, Jack Baker, talking it over with the players. Well, the Detroit Drive with a chance here tonight to defend their Arena Bowl championship a year ago. A year ago, they won it with a victory over the Chicago Bruisers. And interestingly enough, their previous Arena Bowl championships won by Tim Markham have been on the road, but they're at home tonight. There's the visiting Pittsburgh Gladiator offense led by the quarterback, number 17, Willie Totten. His receivers, 26, Brian Gardner. 44, Mike Powell in the backfield. Number 20, Thomas Monroe. Number 5, Alvin Williams. An all-league selection up front. 55, Febray Collins. 50, Donald Thompson in the middle. And Rodney Garner moving into the starting lineup tonight at guard for the Pittsburgh Gladiators.
And that's really a key point, Dave, because Jim, we don't have to tell you about how games are won in the trenches in any level of football. And Garner is 270 as opposed to Fletcher, who's 245. And Detroit had them outgained by a total of 50 pounds on the offensive line. This cuts it by 25, which gives them perhaps a better shot.
Number 1, Cornelius Ross, and number 5, Alvin Williams, back deep for Pittsburgh to receive the opening kickoff. Of course, in arena football, the field is 50 yards long. The kickoff comes from the goal line, and back in the Detroit end zone, Novo Bojovic, number 3, to kick it off and get this Arena Bowl underway.
And look where he has the ball. He doesn't want to hit the scoreboard anymore.
He's done that a few times. Here's the boot by Bojovic. We're underway. High end over end kick off the net, live ball. Ross picks it up and immediately downs it at just about the last possible moment.
No doubt that Novo probably has the strongest leg in this league. He consistently knocks him off the net.
So the touchback puts the ball at the 5-yard line. That's where Pittsburgh will take over the first offensive series of the football game. Pittsburgh coming off a 39-37 playoff victory over Denver, while Detroit in this building a week ago, in a game many of you saw, defeated Chicago 43-10. 17, Willie Totten, the quarterback, the number 2 quarterback in arena football. And on first down, he has it complete to Williams, and Williams out across the 10.
Totten got the completion, but he paid the price. Alvin Reddick, 44, really laid the lumber on him just as he released the ball.
Alvin Williams, the receiver there, one of 3 representatives of the Pittsburgh Gladiators on the all-arena team. We'll be telling you about that tonight, and among them is the quarterback, Willie Totten. Gain of about 8 on that play. Second down and 2 yards to go for Pittsburgh. We're just underway. Monroe's in motion. Here's Totten under pressure, loses the football. Reggie Mathis, did he get it?
No.
No. The ball went out of the end zone. It's a safety for the Detroit Drive, and they take a 2-0 lead.
Once again, it was Alvin Reddick in on the blitz that got to Willie Totten. Let's take a look right in the middle of your screen. 44, Number 44, Pittsburgh, supposed to pick him up. He didn't catch him in time. You see Reddick rip the ball out of Totten's hands. And Mathis trying to fall into fumble. Watch 44, right in the middle of your screen. Coming in clean. Bad job of picking him up by Mike Powell. And you'll see Reddick just rip the ball out of Totten's hands. And the race for the ball, Reggie Mathis trying to fall on it to get the touchdown, but it avoids his grasp, but it's a safety for Detroit. What a start for Detroit.
Reggie wanted 6, didn't he? But he did that one thing that you never can do. But, you know, defensive players, he took his eye off the ball. He already was counting the 6, and the ball squirted away.
George LaFrance, the premier return threat in this league, is back deep to receive the kick by Rusty Fricky. LaFrance will play it off the net. And he'll come out with it. And he goes down just beyond the goal line at about the 2-yard line.
That may have been a bad decision by George LaFrance. He does not like to down the ball.
Well, let's take a look at the starters on offense for the Detroit Drive. The defending champions, the quarterback, number 5, Tony Burris. The running back, 33, Lynn Bradford, 91 yards last week. Here are the receivers, 27, LaFrance. 32, Mullen, 3 touchdowns last week. 88, Dwayne Dixon. And up front, 55, Anthony Corvino. Live action now, and the completion to Dwayne Dixon. And he gets it out near the 10-yard line on the pass from Tony Burris.
The one thing about
John Relk, the center, to complete the offensive line for the Detroit Drive, and then Greg Orton is the guard. Pickup of about 8 on the completion to Dwayne Dixon. It's a 2nd and 2 situation. Identical situation to the one that Pittsburgh faced moments ago. Here's a pitch to Bradford. Bradford turns the corner, has a first down for Detroit as he picks up right where he left off last week when he set an arena football record with 91 yards rushing against the Chicago Bruisers.
He had 12 carries for those 91 yards, and both the amount of carries and the yardage are extraordinary for arena football.
And Pittsburgh has showed themselves to be vulnerable against the rush. The Drive come into this game averaging 4 yards per rush, while Pittsburgh has given up 2.9 yards per attempt. So that could be a key area tonight.
First down from the 20. Here's a pitch to Bradford, running right this time, and he is tripped up. Tripped up by Jeff Powell. Number 40, check that, Alvin Reddick. No, it was Mike Powell, I should say. Mike Powell, 44, making the stop there.
Well, whoever it was, 44 made a good play, David. No doubt about it. It was Mike Powell. Great pursuit to cut the legs out from under Lynn Bradford. That's the way you want to tackle Bradford. He's a big, strong kid.
Yes, he
230 pounds.
He dominated at times last week. LaFrance in motion. Burris looking downfield. He's got Dixon wide open. Dwayne Dixon inside the 10.
You see how much time he had, Jim? He just could have had a sandwich back there.
And Dwayne Dixon could have had 2 sandwiches because no one was around him.
Look at this. He just sits there, waits, and finally Dixon comes free coming across the field.
And you'll see no one in the coverage, Howard. No one even close to him, and he runs out of bounds. Just couldn't stop his momentum, but a real mistake in the secondary of Pittsburgh.
2 receptions on this drive for Dixon. First down, Burris, ball batted away.
Fabre Collins.
Fabre Collins, 6'2", 220 out of Southern Illinois, got a hand on that one. So it brings up a 2nd and 10. But Detroit with a good-looking drive here on their opening series of the game. They already lead it 2-0. Tony Burris, in his previous appearance against Pittsburgh this year, 4 out of 6, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns in that lopsided Detroit victory. From just outside the 11-yard line, some jumping. Flag goes down. The whistle stopped play. Burris went ahead and threw it anyway to Dixon.
That was a good job by the center, John Rolk. Soon as Pittsburgh jumped off sides, he snapped the football, and he got the call in their favor. You'll see it right there. He snaps the ball. It wasn't on the count, designated count, but as soon as he saw the
Player's offside. He just snapped it.
Why'd they blow the whistle?
It must have been contact.
Offside penalty moves it down to the 9-yard line. And it'll be a 2nd and 7 as they mark off 3 yards on the penalty. Burris pumps once to the end zone for LaFrance.
Oh, they're going to call interference on Cornelius Ross. Ross doesn't like that call, but the official said he went over the top.
He definitely got him from behind.
Here it is again, as you'll see. Burris, there's the pump fake.
A little better pressure on Burris that time. Let's see. Yeah, Ross all over the back of George LaFrance. Good call by the official.
Cornelius Ross, one of the top defenders in this league, with some 33 tackles coming in, but guilty of the infraction there, and it brings up a 1st and goal situation. Detroit at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, Ross does lead the league in tackles. It looked like he wanted to get his 34th on that one, though.
Just a little early.
Detroit with a chance to open an early lead here. Burris 2 out of 3 on the night. The pitch to Bradford, cuts inside. Can't do it. He stood up there. Eric Anderson. It's 33 against 33, and he's pushed back a little bit. Might have gained half a yard on that. It'll be 2nd and goal from just outside the 4-yard line now.
A good job by Pittsburgh at taking away the perimeter, forcing Bradford back to the inside into the pursuit of Mike Powell.
Just inside 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. Detroit up 2-0 on the Pittsburgh Gladiators. Here's the give to Bradford, bowling his way forward down to about the 1-yard line.
Well, you're going to see some nice blocking out in front of Lynn Bradford. Look at the blocks out right there. That's Greg Horton, I believe, yeah, Greg Horton, 65, opening the hole, just driving out the defender, Mike Powell, allowing Bradford to get almost in the end zone, a half a yard short.
Is that what you call drive blocking,
That's
Jim?
drive blocking. That's what you call it.
Horton played his first game of the season against Pittsburgh in that 61-34 route by the drive. 3rd and goal from about the 1. Burris keeps it. Touchdown, Detroit.
Once again, Howard, good drive blocking out in front, this time for Tony Burris. Burris managed to sneak it in the end zone. That's tough yardage.
Tony Burris goes in to put the Detroit drive up by a score of 8-0. So after the safety, Detroit takes it down the field and goes in for the score. And now Novo Bojovic will come on to attempt the point after touchdown. He's 16 out of 21 on the year. Out of the hole to Tony Burris. It's good. Detroit leads it 9-0. The drive in front of Pittsburgh. We'll be back to ArenaBowl 89 after these messages. Welcome back to Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, where the drive has taken a 9-0 lead on the Pittsburgh Gladiators. 7:25 to go in the first quarter. With Howard Balzer and Jim Grabowski, I'm Dave Ennett. The boot by Bojovic. Goes out of the end zone and a touchback. Pittsburgh will get the ball on the 5-yard line. The Detroit drive went 48 yards. Tony Burris capped that drive with a 1-yard run. Capped the drive for the drive. 8 plays. And the extra point by Bojovic.
And a very well balanced drive mixed with the run in the pass. You don't see that much in arena football, and it's one of the factors that makes the drive so tough, because they don't make many turnovers either. Their quarterbacks have only thrown a total of 1 interception in their 5 games, and it's tough for a defense to know what they're going to do on any play.
First down, Pittsburgh, behind Willie Totten. Totten tried to hit Alvin Williams, and Williams wasn't looking that way.
Well, I tell you, I think the mix-up, it looks like Pittsburgh has thrown a little new offensive wrinkle with a triple tandem ride receivers and then sending one in motion. And it looked like Alvin Williams was just running a clear-out pattern, thinking that someone was behind him. But Totten went for the short hitch pattern. And a little mix-up between the quarterback and the receiver.
Tim Markham, the coach of Detroit, maybe pointing that out to his defensive players. Second down, Totten from the end zone. Has it complete to Brian Gardner along the far sidelines.
You think of Willie Totten and all those records. You know, he had 56 NCAA records. Amazing. Willie the Rifle Totten.
So, well, who was that wide receiver? Some guy. Can't think of the guy's name that played with him.
Just an average receiver.
Yeah, I think so.
Jerry
Rice, Jerry Rice, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. At Mississippi Valley State. 3rd and 4 from the 11 after the 6-yard pickup. Monroe in motion. Now goes back the other way. Totten under pressure again. Gets away. Puts it in the air for Monroe. Incomplete down the right sidelines. And boy, the Detroit drive was all over Willie Totten that time.
Well, the pressure continues in that first series. The pressure caused the safety. And once again, Willie Totten under great pressure.
That was the radio station coming in after
That's
him.
right.
Jim Comet, KMET, so
like
they call him radio station.
His other nickname is Killer.
I like radio stations.
Yeah, I do too.
Maybe I should call him AM PM or AM FM.
Rusty Fricky will attempt a field goal from about the 3. It's up and
It's good.
it's good. About a 55-yard field goal by Rusty Fricky puts Pittsburgh on the board. 9-3 Detroit leading. And we'll be back after these messages. 9-3 Detroit leading Pittsburgh here with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter as Rusty Fricky boomed one from 55 yards out. And now he'll kick off to George LaFrance. Ball goes out of bounds. And no chance for LaFrance to return that one. Well, Fricky coming in was only 4 of 15 kicking field goals, but he did hold a 49-yard field goal previously. That was the 3rd longest in Arena football history. He booted that one last year.
And that one just made it over by inches.
And it counts for 3.
But it's a game of inches. Have you heard that one before?
Is that a new cliche?
Howard, good to have you here tonight. 1st and 10 from the 20. Here's the pitch to Bradford running right. Eludes one tackler and fights his way towards midfield. And I mean fights.
It wasn't a whole lot of yardage, but Dwayne Dixon, who was last year's Iron Man of the Year, just showed that he'll not only catch the ball and make a tackle, but he'll make some blocks. He just cut Mike Powell from legs out from under him.
All right, officially, that was a 53-yard field goal and a league record for Rusty Fricky to cap a 4-play, 6-yard drive. So maybe that'll give Pittsburgh some life here. 2nd and 6 for Detroit. Burris tried to hit LaFrance and found a fan instead, I believe.
He almost got a vendor, I think.
And that fan, whoever comes up with that football will get to keep it.
And I'll tell you what, you see the guy you came up with
Look,
there.
the vendor's trying to steal it. There he goes.
Looked like you're wrestling with a sumo wrestler
How
there.
to tip that vendor. All right, here's the play again. Burris, and he tried to hit LaFrance along the near sidelines, but
Now watch the battle for the ball.
3rd and 6 from the 24 for Detroit. Flag is down. Burris has it complete to Gary Mullen at about the 15. That would be enough for the first down, but there is a flag down, and it's going to go against Detroit.
Illegal motion, the preliminary signal.
Boy, did Tony Burris take a beating when he released that football. He really had his stomach area exposed, and one of the Pittsburgh Gladiators laid the shoulder right into him. Good clean hit, though. You'll see the pressure as Burris rolls to the right. Now Eric Anderson, that's 33 Eric Anderson laying the lumber once again on Burris. Is he going to get rid of the ball? You're going to pay the price. Good reception by Burris, but it's nullified by the penalty.
So it's a 3rd and 9 all the way back at the 21. First, again, he hits Mullen in. This time it's a first down, Detroit, no flag.
Great timing on the pattern. Just as Mullen made his move to the outside, he turned the ball, hit him right on the numbers. Look at the timing. Step back, plant your foot, throw it. Great reception.
And a good leg tackle by Alvin Williams. Otherwise, he might have been able to get away.
This is what the coaches like to see. Right on timing. You step, make your drop, plant your foot, receiver open. And it wasn't bad coverage by Alvin Williams.
Bradford with second effort and more. Down close to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Lynn Bradford. "17 yards for Lynn Bradford, his 6th touchdown rushing of the year, and it comes on the heels of a 3-touchdown performance last week."
You're going to see great effort by Bradford. He looks in the middle. That's blocked up. Take it to the outside. One tackle. He breaks that Eric Anderson. Now Cornelius Ross, the leading tackle in the league, is dragged into the end zone.
I thought he was down before, that his knee hit before the ball went over, but it was only a matter of time anyway.
15-3 Detroit, and Bojovic on to make it 16.
And the ball is stuck in the net.
The Detroit drive moves out to a 13 and a half to go in the first quarter. We'll be back to ArenaBowl 89 after these messages. Lynn Bradford has picked up where he left off last week in the playoff game with Chicago. A 17-yard touchdown run to cap a 4-play drive, and Detroit pulls out to a 16-3 lead as you see Lynn Bradford. And the question, did he get in?
Now there's his knee hitting right there. Well before, you can't see it as well from that angle, but it seemed clear that his knee was down, and then he put the ball across.
The kickoff by Bojovic. And who came out with it? I think Cornelius Ross finally came up with the ball. He and Alvin Williams battled themselves for it. And let's take another look at the touchdown.
You will see from this angle that definitely his knee is down. Howard, as you pointed out before the replay.
Now watch the ball as well. It's a question even afterwards if the ball comes across. There's the knee. All right, right now is the knee. And then the ball comes down short anyway. But the official called it a touchdown, so.
16-3, and Pittsburgh in a hole here from the 3-yard line. Totten going for Williams, incomplete. Totten has been working out of his own end zone, it seems, every snap here in the early going.
You look at their field position so far, it's been from their own 5-yard line twice and their 3-yard line on the 3rd possession. So he has certainly been in the shadow of his end zone, and they really have to get something happening quickly.
Well, when you got Rusty Fricky there to boom those 53-yarders, 2nd and 10 from the 3. Gardner, and out of bounds at the 10. LaFrance over there immediately. Brian Gardner, who's had quite a year for the Pittsburgh Gladiators.
Coming up in the last 10 seconds in the first quarter.
Final seconds winding down here the first quarter as the Detroit drive leads the Pittsburgh Gladiators 16-3. And we'll be back with the second quarter of ArenaBowl 89 after these messages. National Football League star Jim Grabowski and Howard Balzer, the pro football editor of the Sporting News. I'm Dave Bennett. Glad you could be with us in the Motor City tonight for this Arena Football Championship matchup. Detroit trying to defend here, and this time with home field. Last year they had to win it on the road. Right now Pittsburgh has to battle from a 16-3 deficit.
Is there a rule that if you win 3 successive championships you're not allowed to coach in the league the next year?
There may be if Tim Markham wins this one. 3rd down. Totten to Williams, incomplete. William McClay, the defender, as Alvin Williams got his hands on it. William McClay, number 7 for Detroit, out of Rice University, with a nice defensive play there. And
Well, let's see if Rusty can do it again, eh?
Well, let's see. This one, he's going to kick from almost the same spot. This will be a 55-yard field goal attempt.
Well, in his last attempt, the most surprised person was Rusty Fricky after it went through the end zone, in through the goalpost.
This one's a low kick off the net. LaFrance, and he'll have to down it right there. 16-3, Detroit leads Pittsburgh. We'll be back with ArenaBowl 89 after these messages.
The assignment.
He's all yours. I think you're going to prison, Walter. You don't know where I'm going.
The deception.
I lost my package. A prisoner I was bringing back from Germany.
The conspiracy.
Gallagher knows too much. He has to be eliminated. This is insane.
You know what you got yourself into? The third team's playing with bigger hitters.
You working for him. Who pays you? Everybody pays me.
Gene Hackman. The Package. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 25th at theaters everywhere.
1989 USC football, a season you won't want to miss. The Trojans take aim at a third straight Pac-10 championship with one of the strongest teams in recent history. 18 of 22 starters returned from last year's 10-2 squad, including 3 All-Americans. USC faces one of the country's toughest home schedules, featuring Ohio State, Washington, Stanford, and UCLA. Order your tickets today by calling 213-743. Go SC!
Well, all you Arena football fans can look forward to a full season of ArenaBowl in 1990, when the Arena Football League is projected to begin play Friday night, June 1st, with either 10 or 12 teams playing 5 home and 5 away regular season games, plus playoffs. Increased national and local television also planned, as you see Lynn Bradford carry on first down, and he is dropped right at about the 1-yard line. So with increased national and local television next year, get ready for a hot summer full of arena football action in 1990. Likely 1990 expansion teams may include Atlanta, Sacramento, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and St. Louis. So a lot to look forward to.
I won't have to travel far for those games.
Not the ones in St. Louis. So a loss of 3 on the play. 2nd and 13. Burris from the end zone. Has it complete. Along the near sidelines, Gary Mullen made the grab.
Well, Burris continues to get very fine protection. You'll see him standing in his end zone looking for the receiver. Great protection. No one around him yet. That's 3 seconds. Gets the ball off. And Mullen wisely comes back for the football and a good reception.
We saw Gary Mullen have a big game last week. He was the Iron Man. 4 catches, 79 yards, 3 touchdowns in the win over Chicago. Now it's 3rd and 4 for Detroit from their own 11. Burris keeps it himself, diving for the first down. I think they're going to say he was down a yard short. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Burris may argue this, but let's take a look here.
It looked like he went down on his own and then crawled across.
Now, if no one touched him,
right,
and he crawled across, that should be up. Well, there is a hand on him, so they're going to say that he was in contact with the defender, and he's short of the first down.
4th and inches. So Novo Bojovic will come on to attempt a field goal.
Ooh. I'm surprised they're not going for it, Jim.
I would think they would, with the strength of their offensive line.
And just with that keeper, he can just fall down and get across the yard line. But I think they want to give Novo a shot to equal Fricky here.
A boot by Bojovic is good.
That's why we're up here and Tim Markham's behind the bench.
50-yard field goal by Novo Bojovic. And Detroit extends the lead. It's now 19-3. The drive out in front of the Pittsburgh Gladiators. 11:51 to go in the first half of play here at Joe Louis Arena.
Who are we to argue with Tim Markham? He's only won the 2 Arena Bowls.
Novo Bojovic coming in tonight was 4 out of 20 field goal kicking this year. But he sure booted that one. As you see it again, Novo, who spent some time, did he not, Howard, with the St. Louis Football Cardinals a few years back?
That's right. Cardinals didn't have a very good year, but Novo was about one of their 5 kickers in during that season, and did a dance on the field after a successful field goal. It was about the only thing to cheer about all season.
So we've seen a couple long field goals here tonight, and it's 19-3 Detroit. The boot by Boyovich. Williams will come out with it.
Oh,
gets away. William McClay finally got him out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
And Novo upset with himself. Those low kicks that are fielded that quickly, your teammates just don't have enough time to get down the field, and the result is a good return.
Yeah, as you can see, Howard, Williams fielded the ball with no defender within 10 yards of him, but a good cut back here. Now he sees daylight, but the safety, William McClay, is taking a beat on him to drive him out of bounds.
Pittsburgh has not had a return for a touchdown this year. They almost got one there, and they have their best field position at the 13-yard line of Detroit. So Willie Totten won't work out of his own end zone this time.
Look at the center and the nose guard. They're almost on top of each other.
Here's the give to Monroe coming around, and he gets down inside the 10. LaFrance, McClay in on the stop. But a nice gain that time by Thomas Monroe.
Yeah, this is not a lesson in how you should tuck the ball into your arms when you're running it.
But a good rushing attempt. Jim, I was about to say that the one negative about the Pittsburgh offense is they don't run the ball very well, but that was like a slot back slant, and Monroe's first carry of the season.
Forrest Evashevsky would have been proud. A wingback reverse.
Gain of about 4. It's 2nd and 6 at the 9-yard line. Totten dumps it out to Powell, and Powell is hit.
Oh, you saw it coming. You saw it coming.
David Evans applied the pressure for the Detroit drive.
And you got a feel for the ball carrier. You'll see Powell going out, his head and back away from the tackle. Boom. Oh. If you like good hits, you'll see one right here. And you just saw it coming. Evans just came off his receiver. Good play.
Jim, what's going through Powell's mind right now?
Probably a lot of cobwebs right about now. You see him, he's outstretched, and just as he brings it in, he gets really decked.
3rd and 6 from the 9. Totten to the air, to the end zone. Monroe for the touchdown. Flag down in the backfield. And it looks, well, let's hold on here as the officials talk it over.
Alvin Redding is saying holding, and that's what the officials said.
Holding against Pittsburgh. Wipes out the touchdown pass from Willie Totten to Thomas Monroe.
What a shame for Pittsburgh.
Joe Herring, though, a little he's been a little reserved tonight, hasn't he? He's got his mellow suit on, I think.
Tim Markham has to be happy about that one. Rusty Fricky, well, this should be a chip shot for him. Kick will come from the 21. A 29-yard field goal attempt. He hit one earlier from outside 50 yards. And he makes this one. So Pittsburgh adds a field goal. It's 19-6 Detroit with 9:19 to play in the half. And we'll be back after these messages.
Don't I get 2 pan pizzas for the price of one?
Don't think of it as one pizza. Think of it as one pizza and one box.
What am I going to do with a box?
Ever hear of origami?
What's that?
A pterodactyl.
What?
At Little Caesars, you never get 1 pan pizza and 1 box. You get 2 great pan pizzas for 1 low price.
Every town in America has a street named after a budget rent-a-truck. One way. These smooth-driving 15 and 24-foot diesels and cargo vans are all priced right. Automatics with power steering, air conditioning, stereo, and more. When you're planning to move from one town to another, there's only one way to go. My way. Budget one-way trucks.
George LaFrance awaits the kickoff by Rusty Fricky, whose 2 field goals account for all of Pittsburgh's points in this game. It's 19-6. Detroit leading the Gladiators with 9:19 to go in the half of ArenaBowl 89. LaFrance off the net. Tries to get away, and he can't. And I believe that was Larry Beretta, the backup quarterback for Pittsburgh, who made the stop on George LaFrance.
It's not very often that you see a quarterback on a kick team. We should mention that people may wonder that you had a 3rd down situation and a holding penalty, and all of a sudden Pittsburgh lined up for a field goal on 4th down. There is a rule in arena football on holding is also a loss of down.
This will come from the 5. First, JoJo Heath with the interception down the right sidelines and out of bounds inside the 5. Well, JoJo Heath had 2 interceptions last week. That's his 4th of the year, and it puts Pittsburgh back in business, knocking on the door.
You wonder if this ball was tipped. No,
Definitely
it certainly wasn't.
It was tipped there.
Oh, there it is. There's the tip, because it looked like a wounded duck right in the hands of JoJo Heath. Looking for the end zone. He just runs out of territory.
The first interception of the year against Burris.
Tony Burris had thrown 53 passes without an interception prior to that one. First turnover of the ball game, and it's a big one. Pittsburgh now with a chance to get to within 6. High formation behind the quarterback, Willie Totten. Totten keeps it. He's going to go down and lose yardage on the play.
Well, they line up the formation strong to the right, and Totten sprints out to the left, and the Detroit defense was all over him. I'll tell you what, so far, guys, I think that the MVP of this game ought to be the front guys of Detroit, both offensively and defensively. They've been swarming defensively and giving Burris all kinds of time to throw the football.
Here's the give. Mike Powell down inside the 5. And it'll bring up a 3rd and goal situation.
This Detroit defense is the best in the league. They've given up only an average of 21 points a ball game, and you're seeing why they are the best.
Gave up only 21 points a game during the regular season. Pittsburgh, one of the better offensive units. They rank 2nd both in yardage and points during the season. 3rd and goal from the 3. The give to Powell. Powell is swarmed under. Dwayne Dixon is in there, along with Alvin Reddick, and Reddick may be shaken up. He was on the bottom of that pile.
Alvin Reddick is playing one whale of a football game. His counterpart, Lynn Bradford, is taking care of the offense, and Reddick is certainly taking care of the defense.
So it's a 4th and goal.
They're going for it.
Now, that surprises me.
From the 3-yard line, they're having trouble getting it in close. It's tough to run pass patterns on a short field.
Totten stumbling. Goes to the end zone. Alvin Williams could not hang on. Almost a great catch by Williams, but he just could not hang on, and the ball goes over to Detroit. .6:21 to go in the first half. It's Detroit 19, Pittsburgh 6. And we'll be back to ArenaBowl 89 after these messages.
Everybody's coming to the mile.
You want to be treated right when you shop for a new car. On the Mile of Cars, you'll find friendly, courteous salespeople and a fabulous selection. You'll get a great deal on the National City Mile of Cars.
Gonna get on down to the mile. Everybody's coming to the mile.
You're just minutes away from a great deal on the Mile of Cars. Take I-5 or 805 to the National City Mile of Cars. Sea-Doo, the personal watercraft that's so powerful, so advanced, and so easy to own that the water will never be the same. Between now and September 7th, your Sea-Doo dealer is offering 0 down and no payments for 6 months. Sea-Doo, powerful enough for experts, yet safe enough for the whole family. And until September 7th, you can own a Sea-Doo, the #1 personal watercraft for no money down and no payments for 6 months.
The Detroit drive has been. It's a big reason that they're in the ArenaBowl once again this year. As Willie Totten, the quarterback for Pittsburgh, on 4th and goal from the 3. And Alvin Williams had his hands on the ball. As we're back to live action, Burris finds LaFrance across the 10. But Alvin Williams had his hands on the football.
I want to go back to the call. I'm just so surprised that Joe Herring went for it on 4th down. He had long 3 yards to go. If he kicks the field goal, they make it. They're within 10 points, and they may get some momentum going.
This way, it gives Detroit that little extra momentum because they stop him, and they already have the big 13-point lead.
8-yard pickup. 2nd and 2. Bradford. 1st down, Detroit, and a late flag. It's going to come back. Holding against Detroit.
How can you have holding on that quick opener? I'd like to see that one.
Oh, we can have holding on any play, Howard. We can do it.
There wasn't even time to hold.
Let's see if we can pick up the holding call. It's a draw play to Lynn Bradford. Now, I think it's right there. I think it may have been John Rolk who wrapped his arms around number 82, Cecil Fletcher. Our truck doesn't agree with the call, but our truck doesn't matter.
That makes it a 3rd down. They got the wave going here in Detroit. Burris from the end zone. He's got Mullen. Mullen has a 1st down for the drive.
Cecil Fletcher getting into a little argument down there. Looks like he thought he might have been held again.
Burris does a heck of a job of getting the ball off. You're going to see a Gladiator 82.
Now, he wasn't held, he was tackled.
You saw his jersey being pulled out from behind him. But Burris does one heck of a job of getting the ball off the 32, Gary Mullen.
Well, we saw Tony Burris come in that first game of the season, the opening game we broadcast in Chicago, and he did a great job that night when Mike Trigg was hurt. Did a great job last week in the playoff game with the Bruisers, and he's got his team partially responsible for a 19-6 lead here tonight. He's got Mullen again, and close to another 1st down for Detroit.
You could call that play all night. Alvin Williams had to be 6 yards off of Mullen. Let's see if we can pick it up. Now again, Burris has got great protection. He looks left, now goes right to Mullen. Now look at that. There's Alvin Williams, a good 5 yards off of Mullen. And that's like pitch and catch.
Inside 4 minutes for the half. Detroit leads by 13 and driving here. Wayne Dixon inside the 5. And Tony Burris is hot.
Oh, he did just an excellent job of looking off his primary receiver. He looked left to George LaFrance, who had a stop-and-go pattern. Now take a look here. You see his eyes are only on LaFrance. He pump fakes. Now look at him turn right back. He knows he wants to go to Dixon. And Dixon is there for the reception. Great job by Tony Burris.
1st and goal at the 2. We have an official timeout here with 3:06 to go in the half. And time is back in. The clock is moving. What would you fellows say the odds would be down here of maybe number 33 getting the football?
I'd love to have those odds anytime.
Lynn Bradford, a lone setback. He has it. Touchdown, Detroit.
Once again, great blocking out in front of the ball carrier. Watch the left side. Watch them just cave in, the Gladiators. Look at that hole. The only person that has a chance is Cornelius Ross, number 1, but he's in the end zone. Bradford's in the end zone before Ross makes contact.
Bradford's second touchdown of the night as Boyovich comes on to attempt the point after. He's got it. It's a 20-point Detroit lead, 26-6 with 2:07 to go in the half. We'll be back to ArenaBowl 89 after these messages. Novo Boyovich getting set to kick it off here. Detroit leading 26-6. Ross from the end zone. Cornelius Ross out to the 15. Well, this being our final telecast of the year, we'd like to thank some people who have helped bring you these games over the course of this arena football season. Out in Denver, Colorado, the Prime Sports Network. Special thanks there to Kelly Butler for helping get arena football on all around these great United States. Prime Ticket covering Los Angeles and the Southwest. Thanks to you folks. Home Sports and Entertainment covering Texas and the surrounding states. The Sunshine Network covering all of Florida, and all the other regional sports networks covering this season's games. We really appreciate it.
Well, you just saw some great coverage that time by David Evans. Step for step with Alvin Williams. No chance for the reception. Watch this coverage like a blanket. In fact, Evans got the position and everything on him. Just good defense.
Second down from the 15. We're approaching the 1-minute mark for the first half. Monroe has it, and William McClay has Monroe.
Well, Detroit is telling Pittsburgh, you're going to catch the ball in front of me, you're going to pay the price. And you'll see William McClay just drive the shoulder into Thomas Monroe. A good reception. Good job above Monroe hanging on to the football. And then McClay, as he gets up, has a few words for Monroe.
Tim Markham has a few words for the officials. And there's Joe Herring.
Yeah. Now, usually the most vocal, animated of the coaches is Joe Herring, that man right there. And it's the reversal role today. Tim Markham is getting on the officials, and Joe Herring.
Markham's the one with the 20-point lead.
Right.
3rd and 3, Pittsburgh. Alvin Williams at the bottom of your screen, and Monroe in motion. And the completion is made to Brian Gardner, and he's got a first down for Pittsburgh before he's shoved back.
Good call there. They got the receiver in the slot position. You got your safety 8 yards deep, so you hit him quick. You hit him in a 4-yard range.
51 seconds to go in the half. Alvin Rettig putting pressure on Willie Totten. That's been a familiar story here in the first half.
Rettig's been all over the field. He didn't get the sack, but he's definitely got to hurry. You'll see once again, left of your screen, Alvin Rettig, 44. And see, they're having great difficulty of getting the running back to get in on the block of the middle linebacker who's blitzing on every play.
Second down from the 21. Going for Gardner. He's got him out of bounds. Near another first down for Pittsburgh. 40 seconds to go.
And a good job by Gardner continuing out of bounds. He knew that the clock's the enemy, not the first down.
Third and 1. Well, I heard a crack that time all the way up here. The ball was caught by Gardner again, and it's a first down. 35 seconds to go.
That's the two defenders meeting at the point where the receiver caught the ball.
In stereo.
That's right.
35 seconds for the half. We will be going down to the field to Howard Balzer in a few moments to talk presumably with Tim Markham.
Yeah, I would say we usually talk to the coach who is leading at halftime.
Well, Jim, I thought you'd go down and talk to Joe Herring.
Yeah, I don't want to be around him. I can't get over how calm Joe Herring is right now. We've seen him last year, and he was all over the field. And of course, he is known this year for his fisticuffs.
Yeah, well, I guess you could say that. Tim Markham talking things over with his defense. William McClay, number 7. And there's Joe Herring on the sidelines with Rusty Fricky, and also over there is Mike Powell, number 44. Joe Herring in his 3rd year of this team, a lifetime mark coming in tonight of 13-10. Of course, he missed the 2 games this year. And he will go to the locker room at halftime and try to come up with a way to wipe out a deficit. May not be 20 points if Pittsburgh can punch it in here. They've got a 1st and goal at the 8 with 35 seconds to go. Totten. Monroe is the closest receiver, and David Evans tried to claim he made the interception. I think he was beyond the end line, and I think Monroe would probably agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely was a good call, but I'm kind of chuckling because Willie Totten, all he wanted to do was get rid of that football, because guess who? Number 44 right in his face once again.
Alvin Reddick. 2nd and goal. Totten keeps it down to the 5. And he made a nice move there to avoid a loss on the play. And now Pittsburgh will take a timeout with 19 seconds left, and they face a 3rd and goal from the 5.
I'll guarantee you tonight Willie Totten is going to have Detroit drives in his nightmare. Pressure, pressure, pressure. He hasn't had time to throw the football. You'll see the pressure I'm speaking about. There's Totten having to step up into the pocket, this time avoiding James Komet. He makes the wise decision, pick up what you can.
And there's Alvin Reddick. He has been everywhere here in the 1st half. Oh, we hope you're enjoying the Arena Bowl. 26-6, Detroit leading Pittsburgh here with 19 seconds to go in the half.
Everybody views this game of arena football as an offensive fireworks, but Tim Markham has brought defense to the ball game.
Had one game this year in which he held the Maryland Commandos. Detroit did to 7 points. 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh. Gardner in motion. Totten has it complete. Thomas Monroe made the catch along the far sidelines.
And guess what? Pressure again. We keep repeating ourselves, but once again, Alvin Reddick in on the knees of Willie Totten.
And again, it's a 4th and goal situation.
Well, this time you got to go for it. Part of the problem is, too, that Willie Totten has to get away from the center quickly because he's not allowing enough time for his running back to step in and make the blocks on Reddick.
Detroit stopped him before on 4th and goal. Powell bounces off a tackler. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. And what a great play by Mike Powell.
Very, very smart play by Powell. He knew his momentum was stopped, but he reached the ball over the end line, and that's all you have to do is break the plane with the ball. And Pittsburgh is on the scoreboard with its 1st touchdown of the evening.
With 10 seconds to go in the half.
Let's watch the play. Now, right here, Powell knows that he stopped. As he bounces off, I believe that's Dwayne Dixon. He reaches the ball in just by the marker, and he gets the touchdown.
Powell's 3rd touchdown of the year. Fricky, low snap. And Beretta Well, trying to complete the pass after the bad snap to Cecil Fletcher. That would have been a 2-point conversion.
But Beretta, I mean, made his choice too quickly. He had time to field the ball, get it set down, because there really was no pressure on the rush.
So it's 26-12. Pittsburgh fails to convert following the 2-yard run by Powell. But the Gladiators have their first touchdown of the evening after 2 field goals by Rusty Prickey. So we said that Pittsburgh would have a deficit at halftime. They will. But it's a bit smaller now.
Plenty of time for Pittsburgh, though. You know, coming into the ball game, they've averaged almost 37 points a ball game, and they have the number 2 passer in the league. So if they can find some new blocking schemes, certainly Pittsburgh has a chance.
George LaFrance, awaiting this touchdown, this kickoff, has scored 11 touchdowns this year. That's tops in arena football, and he has scored 2 of them on returns. The boot by Fricky, and LaFrance tries to play it off the net and loses it out of the end zone. It'll come out to the 5-yard line.
Speaking of George LaFrance before the ball game, he's a new husband. Back in June, he got married. Going to Fort Wayne State this fall to complete his graduate studies. Nice young man.
10 plays, 25 yards on the Pittsburgh scoring drive, and Powell capped it, the 2-yard run. And the failed extra point. And that is the first touchdown against the Detroit defense since the first quarter, Jim, of last week's playoff game with Chicago. Burris with one shot at it here, going deep for Mullen, and it's picked off. JoJo Heath with his 2nd of the night and his 4th in 2 games. What a playoff he's having. And Pittsburgh will have another shot with 2 seconds left. 2nd turnover, 2nd interception of Burris, who had not been intercepted coming in tonight. And there were 3 defenders around the intended receiver, Gary Mullen, as you'll see here.
And in that situation, it usually does end up in an interception. And Cornelius Ross was a little upset because he had a better beat on the ball than JoJo Heath.
So with 2 seconds left, Pittsburgh should have 1 play here, and from their own 5. And Totten from the end zone. He's got some time. Alvin Williams. Williams is collared down by Alvin Rettig as the first half comes to an end. 26-12. The Detroit drive leading the Pittsburgh Gladiators. And let's take a look at the final play of the half, the completion from Willie Totten to Alvin Williams.
Well, Detroit giving the shorter pattern. They'll give up the yardage, but coming from behind, Alvin Rettig.
Alvin Rettig has had quite a half, and the Detroit drive is leading here 26-12 at the end of the first half of play. We'll be hearing from Tim Markham, the coach, in just a moment. Tony Burris, a 1-yard touchdown run for Detroit. Lynn Bradford has scored. The touchdowns. Lynn Bradford has scored twice. Mike Powell scored the last touchdown for Pittsburgh. And now let's hear from the head coach of Detroit, Tim Markham. Our halftime coach's interview is sponsored by Little Caesars Pizza. Howard Balzer.
And we're here with Tim Markham, head coach of the Detroit Drive. A wild first half, as they always seem to be, and you can never count Pittsburgh out with the way they were behind last week.
Well, it's, you know, you've been around this game long enough to know that for all practical purposes, the score is tied. I mean, you know, it's 26-12, I think, and it's going to be a tough one all the way through.
And it looked like he had the 1 goal line stand there. It looked like he might have him there, but Powell made a good play getting him into the end zone.
He got in there. It was a good effort, good second effort. He's a good, tough kid. This is a heck of a football game, Howard.
Now, where did you come up with this balanced offense? This is supposed to be arena football.
Well, as long as we'll get, you know, they'll give us a little bit of the run, we'll try to take it and try to keep them off balance. You know, it's a chess match out there.
Tim, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Tim Markham headed to Detroit Drive, and we'll be back right after these words.
Since man discovered
they're so quickly to go into those places, and expose the sport, because I think one thing they've found, as good as the sport is on television, there's no comparison to actually being there in person, being that close to the field and seeing the action. And when you go, you're hooked. The one thing Jim said, and you have to agree with, is everywhere, every place I've seen a game, every game we've seen, whether the crowd's 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000, the people are into it and really enjoy it.
Well, these fans here know what city they're from, and they know that the Detroit Drive has a 14-point lead here as we begin the third quarter. Rusty Fricky will kick it off for Pittsburgh, and George LaFrance drops back deep as the fans rev up the Detroit Drive 30 minutes away from their second straight Arena Football Championship. LaFrance plays it off the net. Dancing left. He's got some room. Close to midfield, George LaFrance. His best return of the night.
And you see why he leads the league in returns coming into the ball game. He's returned 22 for a total of 548 yards. The leader in arena football.
Average of almost 25 yards a return, and he almost got 25 yards right there. May have, in fact. To the 23-yard line for a first down. And here's the pitch to Bradford. Loses the football. Ross has it down the right sidelines. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Cornelius Ross picked up the fumble by Lynn Bradford. And right off the bat here on the first snap of the third quarter, Pittsburgh very much alive here at Joe Louis Arena.
Nothing wrong with the pitch. It's the hit of Eric Anderson right there. Number 33 gets his hands in on the football, and Cornelius Ross alertly picks it up, smells the end zone, and he's there.
And Tim Markham said to me at halftime, he said, hey, 26-12, I consider this game tied. Well, they're 7 points closer. And that's 2 touchdowns, by the way, in 52 seconds, because Pittsburgh scored with 10 seconds remaining in the first half.
Fricky with a point after. And Pittsburgh has struck quickly here in the first minute of the third quarter. It's 26-19, Detroit. And we'll be back after these messages.
10,000 Chevrolets must go in 30 days. That means S10 deals, Blazer deals, Astrovan deals, full-size truck deals, cash rebates, special low financing. Now, 10,000 Chevrolets must go in 30 days because the 1990 Chevys are coming.
Brett Rogan, sports. Fritz Coleman, weather. California summer serves up. Fred is Mr. Excitement, all show. Fritz is all wet. If it hangs 10, takes the drop, shoots the curl, or walks the nose, nobody shows it like Fred Sandog Rogan. Fritz, on the other hand, is one gnarly Prince of Weather dude. Fritz and Fred, great sports through all kinds of weather.
Well, we've only played 42 seconds of the third quarter, and Tim Markham, the coach of the Detroit Drive, has seen his team's lead trimmed to just a touchdown. It's 26-19 after the 23-yard fumble return by Pittsburgh's Cornelius Ross. And we'll start again. And Rusty Fricky booming this kickoff. Goes out of the end zone. We have a little extracurricular activity back upfield around the 15, and William McClay of Detroit getting into it there.
Joe Herring better not go out on the field.
No. Tim Markham's out there and tries to break it up.
Novo just wanted to show off his multicolored right sneaker there when he jumped out.
He got out there in a hurry. But things settled down quickly.
You know, Dave, we saw Detroit play Denver, and the mistakes of Detroit kept Denver in the ball game, and they ended up winning at 15-14.
You're exactly right. That was the only game they lost this year. That ball went out of bounds. It's a first down, Detroit at the 20 in drive territory. Burris under pressure. Eludes the sack. Gets rid of it for Dixon. Picked off Alvin Williams. Another turnover by Detroit. 4th of the night. And Alvin Williams makes the interception. Third interception of Tony Burris.
First, you can see Tony Burris avoid the sack, and I don't know how he got out of the grasp of number 55, Fabre Collins. He gets the ball off, just off the outstretched fingertips of Dwayne Dixon, and then a little juggling act right there by Alvin Williams for the interception.
A good job, though, by Lynn Bradford coming down the field for Detroit to get Williams right after the interception to prevent what probably would have been a long game.
Pittsburgh has it at the 13. And Totten has Williams across the 20. William McClay knocks him out of bounds.
Oh, a dangerous pass, though. It looked like McClay had the angle for an interception.
4 turnovers by the Detroit Drive, 3 of them interceptions.
Let's look at this pass. He's going to Williams, and watch the angle that McClay has.
Now watch McClay drive into him a little bit there. Yeah,
a little extras in there.
Totten 10 of 18 on the night for 89 yards.
That's offsides right here in Detroit. The guy line up, but
Totten has Gardner. Gardner's across midfield. Oh, he didn't hang on, I guess. I thought he made the catch.
Gardner should have made the catch. Should have been across midfield. And really, so Totten's talking to him and saying, hey, I've got a lot of pressure back here. You got to catch him when I get him to you.
So it'll be a 3rd and 2. 4 turnovers by the Drive, none by Pittsburgh.
There's Reggie Mathis' right hand, offsides again, but they're ignoring that one.
Some jumping. Flag is down. Pass is complete this time. Monroe made the catch across midfield. Maybe they heard you, Howard.
Of course, he jumped on that one. They got Reggie Mathis for offsides, but they'll decline this penalty.
And you see the closer that Reggie Mathis gets to the line of scrimmage, Brad Smith, the left side tackle, he just drops back a yard.
So, you know, if he was lined up properly, he would have gotten back in time, probably.
Penalty declined. It's a 1st down for Pittsburgh on the reception by Monroe all the way down to the 22 of Detroit. Pittsburgh driving to what could be a tying score here in the first 3 minutes of the 2nd half. It's a long way from over here in Detroit tonight. Monroe in motion. Cotton's going for him. Incomplete. Just beyond his outstretched arms.
Have you noticed how much better protection Totten has gotten in this 2nd half? He's got time to throw the ball. His only mistake is he throws off his back foot. He didn't plant and set. He had time to do it. But good coverage that time by Detroit.
George LaFrance back there with Monroe. Thomas Monroe with 6 touchdowns this year, so he's a threat.
One key change for Pittsburgh now at right guard, number 77, Brad Smith, a 278-pounder. A big reason for that better protection.
Pressure this time. Totten loses the football. No, they're going to say he was down.
As we were saying.
Yes. Just as I was saying, he's getting good protection. It just caves in around him.
Reggie Mathis and James Kmet were in on him. And I think you'll see Mathis get to him first. Right there, 84, with that big arm around Willie Totten. And
Reggie Mathis led the league in sacks with 7. Out of Oklahoma, an Oklahoma Sooner, Reggie Mathis.
One of Detroit's 3 representatives on the All-Arena team.
Played in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints.
3rd and 16. Alvin Williams, but it's too far. Alvin Williams was open there, but Willie Totten overshot him.
He thought it was Jerry Rice, I guess.
That looked like the 2 defenders, George LaFrance and David Evans, were looking for a shorter pattern, and Williams got behind him. But Willie Totten just had too much on the ball.
Rusty Fricky is 2 of 3 tonight, including an Arena Football record 55-yard field goal. This one will be a 43-yarder. Wide left, LaFrance plays it off the nets. Comes out with it. Gets out across the 5-yard line. He'll be stopped there. 9:49 to go, third quarter. It's Detroit leading Pittsburgh by 7, and we'll be back after these messages.
Yes, I'd like 2 of those pizzas.
Those pizzas? They'll be $17.99.
$17.99? But it says $10.99.
Not for those pizzas.
How can that be?
I think if you refer to the fine print.
Fine print?
It's not vendor responsible. Hey, what the heck?
May I help you?
Who are you?
I'd like to introduce our corporate attorney. He's here on a regular basis.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
At Little Caesars, you always get 2 great pan pizzas for one low price.
Pan.
Only at Little Caesars.
If you enjoy getting away to Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Reno, Lake Tahoe, the Caribbean, Players Club was made for you. You know, your membership card gets you up to 60% off your room in first-class places like Resorts International. 50 to 70% off your airfare. 25% off meals and drinks, and another 50% off shows and entertainment. Call for free information, then make up your own mind. New members get 2 free room nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City.
First down, Detroit from the 6-yard line. The drive with a 7-point lead. 9:40 to go in the third quarter. Tony Burris to Gary Mullen, and Mullen trying to get away. Has a first down for the drive.
Nice move by Gary Mullen. Turning out after reception, he turns a 5-yard gain into a first down. Now watch the move to the outside. Make sure he has the football. Now the spin. The spin to the outside. He almost breaks away from Alvin Williams, but he does pick up the first down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but is that the first substantial gain Detroit's had here in the second half without a turnover?
That's right. I think it's their first positive yardage play. It's only their 3rd offensive play of the half.
That's right. And Gary Mullen's 5th catch of the night. He's at the top of your screen. Dwayne Dixon in the slot. LaFrance in motion. And Burris going deep for LaFrance.
No.
Touchdown, George LaFrance.
I don't know about that one, Jimmy.
We'd like to see it over. Howard Balzer has some doubt.
A great catch, but did he get his feet down?
Howard, I think he got his knees down, and remember, 1 knee is worth 2 feet. Let's take a look. In motion, George LaFrance. Now you're going to see double coverage here. JoJo Heath is in on it, and Cornelius Ross got him short and long. There's Ross coming in your picture. And look at this catch. Now let's see if he gets the knees down. Oh, most definitely. Yep. That's a 6-point. That's a great call, great score.
Bojovic, the point after is no good. But a 32-yard touchdown from Burris to LaFrance gives Detroit a 32-19 lead. And we'll be back after these messages.
Before I bought my new air conditioner, I got all the facts. Energy efficiencies, warranties, the works. I chose Payne because of the facts and because of a feeling of confidence in my Payne dealer and in the master technicians who install and service Payne. I really believe these guys when they say Payne is engineered to save you money. And with Payne's free 5-year parts and labor, I know I got a good deal, and that's a great feeling.
Call CNC Air Conditioning for their summer clearance specials.
Specialized, the oldest and largest producers of mountain bikes, off-road racing, recreational biking. The Hard Rock, a true off-road bike value packed for the serious off-roader. Rockhopper named best $500 bike by Mountain Bike Action Magazine. Stump Jumper, light and fast, Bicycle Guide Magazine, bike of the decade. Specialized, off-roading at its finest. Call these specialized dealers. Adams Avenue Bicycle, La Jolla Cyclery, Pacific Coast Cycle, San Diego Cyclery, and Wheels and Things.
2-19, Detroit leads Pittsburgh. Just inside 8 minutes to go, third quarter.
A pair of 32s. There was a 32-yard touchdown.
That's right. Bojovic with the boot. Alvin Williams comes out with it. He's wrestled down, loses the football. Detroit has it. Did Novo recover the fumble?
He's sure making like he did.
No, he's just happy about it. I don't think he recovered it.
Well, there's the first turnover by Pittsburgh as Alvin Williams coughs it up on the kickoff return. The tackle by Bradford.
It was Novo.
And Novo's right there to fall on the football.
That could be a first.
You'll just see that Alvin Williams just can't hang on to the football. His arms are being pulled away from his body. And it's a fumble.
Burris overshoots LaFrance on first down at the 12. So after Pittsburgh had gotten to within 7, Detroit's in position here to reopen a lead, a big lead. They lead by 13 now, and they're at the Pittsburgh 12, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Novo had no guts. He should have tried to pick it up and run it in.
No, wrong heart.
Knowing Novo, I'm surprised he didn't try.
Inside 7 minutes for the 3rd quarter. Burris.
Open.
Got a man open. Touchdown Detroit, Gary Mullen. 4th touchdown of the postseason. And Tony Burris has passed for 2 touchdowns in just over a minute.
Boy, he does a nice job of threatening the left side, then rolling back right. That's a design play to roll it back to the right side. It wasn't the pressure that's forcing him. All design. He fakes it to the left. Now to buy more time, he starts rolling to the right, and he finds Mullen all alone in the end zone.
Boyovich missed the last one, but he makes this point after touchdown.
And look at Novo yelling at Coach Joe Herring.
And it's a 39-19 lead. Boyovich jawing with Joe Herring, the Pittsburgh coach. Herring, I think, wants him tossed out. But let's take another look at the touchdown. Tony Burris to one of his favorite targets, Gary Mullen, who scored 3 touchdowns last week. And Burris has passed for 2 touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. This crowd fired up. A 20-point Detroit drive lead. It's 39-19 with 6:07 to go in the 3rd period. And boy, that Novo, someone may want to tell Novo to put the helmet on before the kickoff.
There we go.
There he goes. So after the fumble recovery by Novo, Tony Burris only needed 2 plays, and he fires 12 yards to Mullen.
And you can see Novo getting the crowd excited. They love him in Detroit.
I'd like to know what he said to Joe Herring. He booms this one into the stands. And there's a flag down back in the Detroit end zone.
Well, I've never seen that call.
Let's see what happened here.
What did Novo do this time?
All right. Oh!
Mike Powell.
Mike Powell goes after Novo, and well, we told you that Boyovich was jawing with Joe Herring.
You don't think Joe had anything to do with that, do you?
And now we have the penalty being marked off against the Pittsburgh Gladiators.
Well, and Novo very wisely realized that his helmet was off, and he wasn't going to go at Powell.
Something like that you should be thrown out of the game for.
Well, Markham agrees with you. He wants him thrown out. Nah, you always go after the kicker, even though it's 40
Well, he's not even coming down the field, though. He had his back turned.
Well, you never do that.
First down, Totten. Williams threw his hands. Monroe almost got it. Let's take another look at the kickoff. Boyovich gets it away, and from the left of your screen, boom, there's Mike Powell.
And Novo right there thinks I'm going at him. No, I better not. I better not. So what are you doing that to me for?
Novo goes 5'10", 180. Powell, 6 feet 214. Not that much of a mismatch.
But Powell had his helmet on.
Good point. 2nd and 10 from the 12. Completion.
You know, and all that excitement, we forget to realize that Alvin Williams is really having a tough day. You're going to see a good pickup of Alvin Reddick on the blitz. You see how they switched assignments? They left the guard for the middle linebacker, and they sent out the running back out on the defensive end. They've had great difficulty in the beginning of the game picking up the inside.
There's the future commissioner of Arena football, Niall Foster.
Named after
Jim
Niall
and Pat. 3 generations of Fosters there. 3rd and 4.
If you don't think that James Foster is an Iowa fan when you name your son after a Heisman winner, Niall Kennick. He loves his Hawkeyes.
He had a Hawkeye earlier this season, didn't he?
That's right.
Penalty goes against Detroit, and that moves it outside the 20. 3rd and about a yard to go here. 4:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Pittsburgh trailing by 20. Totten to Monroe. Monroe across midfield. And it's a 1st down for Pittsburgh.
Thomas Monroe, the leading receiver on the Gladiator team, and they're going to have to go to him often. See what makes Detroit so good offensively? They have 3 of the best receivers. You can't do any doubling on any one receiver. The others will burn you.
From the 23 of Detroit. Totten, quick drop, complete to Gardner.
And the fans love it.
And there's some hard hitting going on.
Dwight Dixon going at the head of Gardner.
And one thing here, you have to really give a lot of credit to Pittsburgh. They're keeping their poise. Totten's going back and doing the quick shots, the quick passes to his receivers, not trying to get it back all at once. And a score here. Hey, still 18 minutes to play. This ain't over.
2nd and about 3 yards to go after the 7-yard gain. Flag is down. Williams, touchdown, Pittsburgh.
But that flag in the general area where they normally call holding.
Yeah, this one's going to come back. Well, we'll see if we can pick this one up as the touchdown pass from Totten to Williams is called back.
This is the 2nd big play that Pittsburgh had that was called back because of a holding penalty. Let's see if we can pick it up. Looks like, yeah, you caught one of the linemen. I couldn't catch the number, but if he's just driving on his back right there, 77 Brad Smith, if that's who they're calling, well, maybe they're going to call Donald Thompson. I could see his hands all over the jersey of one of the Detroit players. Doesn't matter who they call, it's against Pittsburgh.
Also down 3rd and 9. Dumps it out to the running back, Eric Anderson, and he's taken down immediately. Good defensive play that time by Dwayne Dixon.
It really was an excellent play because the only thing stopping Anderson from a touchdown was that man, Dwayne Dixon. And Pittsburgh had 2 blockers out in front of Anderson. But Dixon came up with the big play.
So it's a 4th down, about 5 yards to go. And Pittsburgh down by 20 will go for it. This is for Gardner. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Willie Totten with a nice pass, 19 yards to Brian Gardner, Jim.
He took something off the ball to loft it over George LaFrance. It was a very well thrown ball. You will see Totten, seen Gardner break it open. You see he just lofts it high, allows Gardner to run right under the football.
Nice 4th down play. Pittsburgh trying to hang in here as Rusty Fricky will attempt the extra point. He's got it. 39-26. Detroit's lead cut by 7. And we'll be back to ArenaBowl action after these messages.
Should you know more about Social Security? Many people don't know the half of it.
I knew I paid for it out of every paycheck. Well, that's just the way it was. But now I see it's a part of my whole retirement plan.
I didn't like paying for Social Security, and neither did my dad. But I found out after he died that they pay me, and about 3 million other kids every month.
I know my son paid for Social Security before he became disabled. Then I learned they pay him. Sure helps.
I stopped paying for it when I quit work, but my husband was covered. I found, now that I'm a widow, I still get benefits for myself and the kids.
I didn't think Social Security would be around when I retire, but now I know there's enough money to pay benefits way into the next century.
When it comes to Social Security, get the whole story. Call 1-800-937-2000 for this free booklet and see what's in it for you. Social Security. It never stops working.
Pittsburgh is once again within 13. All you Arena football fans can look forward to a full season of ArenaBowl in 1990, where the Arena Football League is projected to begin play Friday night, June 1st, with either 10 or 12 teams playing 5 home and 5 away regular season games plus playoffs. Increased national and local television is also planned, so get ready for a hot summer full of Arena football action in 1990.
He's ready.
He's ready. Likely 1990 expansion teams may include Atlanta, Sacramento, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and St. Louis.
Okay, guys.
Well,
he's here at every Detroit game.
He'll go on the road next year.
He's one of the sponsors, isn't he?
39-26. $38-yard, 7-play drive, and Pittsburgh's back on the board after 2 straight Detroit touchdowns.
This will be a big defensive series for the Gladiators.
The boot by Fricke. LaFrance tries to play it off the net. Can't hold on, loses it out of the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, and the ball will come out to the 5-yard line with 58 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We are at ArenaBowl 89 at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. Glad you're with us tonight. With Jim Grabowski and Howard Balzer, I'm Dave Ennett. Detroit and Pittsburgh playing for the title. And Detroit in a hole here from their own 5. With 40 seconds to go.
Looked like offside.
A big rush. And that ball was nearly picked off by JoJo Heath, who's already got 2 interceptions tonight, intended for Dwayne Dixon. 29, JoJo Heath, the defender.
That's a good job by Dixon not allowing Heath to pick it off. But Burris finally got some pressure put on.
Burris 11 of 17, 155 yards. 2 touchdowns to go along with his 3 interceptions as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Detroit, with the Drive leading Pittsburgh 39-26. We'll be back after these messages.
May I point out our special offer? 2 pizzas for the price of 1.
Oh, thank you very much.
Excuse me, your shoelace is untied.
Oh. Yes, I'd like that 2-for-1 offer.
I'm sorry, that offer has expired.
But I just bent over to tie my shoelaces.
He did. He bent over.
There's nothing I can do.
Show him your shoelaces.
Some pizza places have temporary 2-for-1 offers. At Little Caesars, you always get
pizza, pizza.
2 great pizzas for 1 low price.
Every town in America has a street named after budget rent-a-truck. One way. These smooth-driving 15 and 24-foot diesels and cargo vans are all priced right. Automatics with power steering, air conditioning, stereo, and more. When you're planning to move from one town to another, there's only one way to go. My way. Budget one-way trucks.
That man is 15 minutes away from his 3rd ArenaBowl championship. But his lead has been cut to 13 points. And Joe Herring, right there, the coach of the Pittsburgh Gladiators, will watch his team attempt to stop him here. Yeah, Tim Markham Maybe the John Wooden of arena football. The pass. Cornelius Ross with the interception.
He blew the whistle. I don't know why.
They're going to. All right, they're going to bring it back to the 10, but it's Pittsburgh's football.
Cornelius Ross, one heck of a job diving in front of the intended receiver. Let's take a look at it. Burris under some pressure, gets the ball off. Now watch the interception. You see Ross cut right in front of Dwayne Dixon to pick the ball off. Now let's see. And then they called him down there. Did anybody touch him? All right, yeah, I guess that Dwayne Dixon
got
didn't
a
have a hand on him.
Fourth interception of the night by Tony Burris. And it's a 1st and goal at the 10 for Pittsburgh. That pass is complete inside the 5. Gardner made the catch. And Pittsburgh, boy, they keep coming back. Each time you think that they're out of the game, a play there. Number 7.
Good job up front that time by Pittsburgh. They cut the front rushman, gave Totten a lane to throw on that quick stop pattern to the slot back.
2nd and goal at the 4. The handoff to the running back, Eric Anderson.
That's pretty dangerous, huh?
Yeah, very.
A lateral.
Tried to flip it back to the quarterback there.
I think Joe Herring would just as soon he hang on to that football right there.
Yeah. Take it right there, Eric Anderson. Don't try to lateral back. Let's take a look at Anderson. Stop there after about a yard gain. Now watch him turn and try to lateral back. Not a very smart play.
Maybe thought it was rugby.
Here's the pitch to Powell. And Powell goes down. Alvin Rettig, 44 against 44 there.
Another decision for Joe Herring.
4th and goal at the 5. Well, last time they faced a 4th and goal, in fact, last 2 times they faced 4th and goal, they've scored touchdowns.
Well, they're not going to do it running the football. They've come into this ball game only averaging 13 yards a game on the ground.
Inside of 13 minutes to go in the game in regulation. Totten has it incomplete.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what they're trying to do there. You have 4 yards, 5 yards for a touchdown. You don't throw a 2-yard pass, especially if your receiver can't turn upfield.
You have to run a pattern into the end zone. That one made no sense.
So the Gladiators fail to cash in on the interception by Ross, and Detroit gets it right back at their own 4-yard line.
I still would have kicked the field goal, Howard.
That's right. It brings you within 10, and then all you need is the touchdown and a field goal to tie.
There's tonight's attendance and a nice crowd here. 12,046 enjoying themselves at Joe Louis Arena.
Could be the biggest crowd of the year in the league.
It's the biggest one we've seen. Burris from the end zone.
He's got him.
He's got Mullen. A bit too far. Gary Mullen was open. He was behind the Pittsburgh defense.
He showed some speed on that play, just outrunning JoJo Heath. Turned in the afterburners to try to get up to the football, but he's not that fast.
So it'll be a 2nd and 10.
But I like the call, though.
Yeah.
You turn the ball over on downs, go for it right away.
That's what got Detroit really back on the momentum earlier when Pittsburgh had pulled within a touchdown, and they got the big touchdown to LaFrance.
Burris under pressure. Has it complete to Dixon, and Dixon is out across midfield. First down, Detroit.
I'll give all the credit to Tony Burris. He was under great pressure. Fabre Collins was all over him.
Was he
Let's
ever?
take a look. Look at a hit. Just as he releases a football, Fabre Collins knocks him to the turf, but not in time. Another big reception for Detroit. A well-thrown football, too, under that pressure.
Dixon with his 4th catch of the night. He was fairly wide open there. At the 23. Burris under pressure again. Shovel pass. Incomplete. Tried to get it to Lynn Bradford.
Hey, they're breaking out everything in this game.
Why not?
Shuffle pass we've not seen this year at all. And we may not see it again because it didn't work.
And we've only got 10 minutes to go. 2nd and 10 at the 23. Tony Burris trots back from the sidelines after talking things over with Tim Markham. Detroit no hurry here. They lead by 13 with 10 minutes to go in the season. Burris for Dixon again, and it's picked off again. Cornelius Ross, his 2nd interception of the night, and that is the 6th turnover and the 5th interception against Tony Burris tonight.
This is the same Tony Burris that did not throw an interception coming into this game?
That's right.
9:52 to go. It's Detroit 39, Pittsburgh 26, and we'll be back to Arena Bowl action after these messages.
It's going to be a long, hot summer. But not if you go to an AM/PM mini market for the Super Quart Sports Bottle deal. Buy the sports bottle for just 99 cents and fill it up anytime with Coke or any dispensed drink for just 49 cents. So keep filling up and take your cool wherever you go. But hurry, or you'll be left in the dust. The Super Quart Sports Bottle deal at AM/PM.
Sometimes it is so exciting, so magical, it doesn't even seem real.
But it is real. It's UCLA football, and it happens at the Rose Bowl. Call UCLA 101 for the spectacular 6-game home schedule and ticket information.
Arena, less than 10 minutes to go, and the 6th turnover of the night here by the Detroit Drive, as Cornelius Ross makes his 2nd interception. And look at that turnover margin, 6-1.
Oh, what a great pass rush by Reggie Mathis.
Totten under very heavy pressure.
Let's look at the bottom of your screen. Look at a step to the outside. Brad Smith goes for the fake. Mathis is by him into the face of Totten. Great move by Reggie Mathis.
Totten, the quarterback on the All-Arena team. Reggie Mathis is also on that team. 2nd and 10 from the 3. Totten under pressure again. Monroe nearly makes the catch, and it's nearly intercepted. William McClay got the deflection, couldn't hang on.
I tell you, there's no chance. Totten has no prayer. I mean, as soon as he got back in his drop, you'll see Elvin Reddick coming in his face. Look at coming in clean from his linebacker spot, and all Totten wants to do is get rid of the football. And I don't blame him. Do you?
I don't blame him. 3rd and 10 from the 3. From the end zone, going deep for Williams, and I don't know if he, and there's a flag down back in the end zone.
Could be roughing the passer.
We may have roughing the passer. 84 Reggie Mathis was the nearest Detroit player to Willie Totten.
Let's see the call. There's Totten.
There's his clean.
Got rid of the ball. You know what it is? It's the fact that Reggie Mathis went at the face. If he would not have put his forearm right into the helmet of Willie Totten, that wouldn't have been a roughing the passer call, because he did it in time. Now you'll see Reddick in the middle of your screen coming in the blitz. And boy, that is really a war between Mike Powell and Elvin Reddick.
Inside of 8 minutes, and Totten falls down. They coughed up the football afterwards, but they're going to say he was down.
Well, I don't know what to say after that. I mean, Totten has been under all kinds of pressure, backing out. He just tripped over the turf.
He tripped on Powell's leg.
Tripped on Powell.
And here comes Mike Powell off the field.
Powell goes out. Eric Anderson checks in for
right
Pittsburgh.
Here, right there. Just stepped on his foot, actually.
7-yard loss, 2nd and 17. Again from the end zone. Some time this time, and tries to hit Gardner, and George LaFrance pounds the turf in disgust.
Well, I think that Willie Totten was looking for Gardner to turn it on in. He anticipated a deep turn in. Gardner kept going straight down the field. It was almost a pickoff.
The fans here taking the 7-minute stretch. Actually, we have 6:34 to go.
Started by the stadium announcer, Frank Beckman.
I guess that's in honor of the Lions' new stretch offense.
3rd and 17. Totten under pressure again. Mathis in on him. Flag is down. And I think that one is going to go against the Pittsburgh Gladiators.
Sure enough, it's going to be a holding penalty. That is a walk-off and a loss of down. And the frustration has to be setting in Willie Totten. Every time he gets the ball off, he's getting decked. And you can see him walking back to the sideline, and he's not a happy camper.
4th down. And so Rusty Fricky will attempt a 62-yard field goal. Well, he made one from 55 tonight. This one's going to be short. And goes into the stands. 5:56 to go. It's Detroit by 13. And we'll be back to ArenaBowl 89 after these messages.
You know, when people want to get away and play, they try everything to save some money. Ads of the newspaper, travel agents. But there's a better way. Players Club. If you enjoy Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Reno, Lake Tahoe, the Caribbean, Players Club was made for you. You know, they book you into first-class places like the Riviera, the Flamingo Hilton, Paradise Island, Resorts International. And your membership card? Get you up to 60% off your room in season when other people can't even get the room. 25% off meals and drinks. Another 50% off shows. You don't get deals like that in the newspaper. And here's why this card's so special.
Players Club members are good customers, so we take care of them with discounts and privileges the general public can't get.
We can't give you all the details now, so call this number for plenty of free information. Read it, then make up your own minds. New members get 2 free room nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when Players Club books your flights.
And there is the Detroit Drive's biggest fan. And, you know,
I'll tell you, this. I want to go out with that after the game.
I wonder if.
Yeah, forget it. There isn't anything you can say about that. 1st and 10 from the 10. Burris pumps once, going deep. LaFrance can't quite get to it. Well, again, we want to thank all the people around the country who have helped to bring you arena football via Mislu during the course of this season. As you take a look at that last play, Prime Sports Network in Denver. Special thanks there to Kelly Butler, who really helped bring arena football to TV viewers around the country. Also Prime Ticket covering Los Angeles and the Southwest. Home Sports and Entertainment covering Texas and the surrounding states. The Sunshine Network covering all of Florida, and of course special thanks to all other regional sports networks who have brought you this season's games. And of course our great producer and director Brad Foss and Roger Schwing, who have really been great to work with. I know I've enjoyed it.
Heck of a crew, and some of the best cameramen in the business.
Yeah, I have no question about that. No question about that. We've had a lot of fun with these games, and we'll look forward to the future for arena football.
And what Detroit and Pittsburgh have to look forward to is playing each other 4 times in the next month overseas in the United Kingdom.
Excellent point.
I mean, these teams aren't good. I mean, they don't like each other now. Just think how they're going to feel at the end of September.
They'll be in the same hotel, same practice area. Oh, no thank you. There'll be some battles going on.
Burris under pressure gets rid of it. 4 minutes to go.
Burris has had his problems, especially in his second half, throwing the interceptions, but he really does a great job at just getting the ball off. He's under the pressure from Cecil Fletcher there, but yet he can get the ball off.
Well, you see the 5 interceptions to go along with the 12 out of 26 and the 2 touchdowns, and by far, and we've seen Tony Burris very effective earlier in the season, and he's thrown the interceptions tonight. Yet at the same time, his team's ahead by 13 points. Pittsburgh hasn't been able to cash in on a couple of those opportunities. And Novo Bojovic will attempt a field goal. So be about a 55-yarder. It's up just short. And Pittsburgh will get the ball again, down by 13. They've still got 3:12 to go. They have 13 points in this game, as we've seen so often, is not an insurmountable deficit, but they got to score quickly here.
As Howard brought up earlier, it took him only 52 seconds to score 2 touchdowns, one at the end of the first half and the second one at the beginning of the second half. So as you said, David, plenty of time, but they got to do it quickly.
3:05 and the clock is moving, and Pittsburgh has a first down at the 5-yard line. Gardner, and immediately out of bounds.
Going out of bounds does not stop the clock until the last minute of the ball game.
It's an important point. We still have 2:40 to go. Pickup of about 6. It'll be 2nd and 4 from the 11-yard line as Willie Totten talks things over in the huddle.
Spending much too much time in the huddle. You got to get in and out.
Absolutely. A 2-minute offense.
There's Reddick again.
Under pressure. Reggie Mathis finally takes down Willie Totten.
That's what you call the 1-2 punch. Reddick hits him high, and Reggie Mathis finishes him off. We've seen this time after time. Alvin Reddick in on the blitz. Great pressure on Totten. Now what? Boom from the blind side. Reggie Mathis just cleans him up.
Willie Totten will see Alvin Reddick and Reggie Mathis in his sleep tonight, I would think.
That's if he sleeps.
That's right.
3rd and 11 now. We're inside 2 minutes from the end zone. Maybe the last gasp. Monroe can't hang on and near the 15-yard line. So Willie Totten now takes a timeout, and we will as well. Detroit by 13. We'll be back to Arena Bowl 89 after these messages.
There are lots of ways to pick a dentist. Ask a friend, look in the phone book, but what does that really tell you about them? At 1-800-DENTIST, we refer from a select group of dentists, and we have a full profile on each of them. Their education, how many years in practice, what special training they have. And with our dentists, you have the security of knowing that we refer thousands of patients to them every month. So if you need a dentist and you want to make an educated choice, call 1-800-DENTIST today.
Gene Hackman is Sergeant Gallagher.
I think you're going to prison, Walter. You don't know where I'm going.
If he doesn't get all the answers, one murder will change the world.
What, are you working for the Russians?
You're a dead man, Sergeant.
These people can be anybody they want to be.
Gene Hackman. The Package. Rated R. Starts Friday, August 25th at theaters everywhere.
Well, we've got 1:31 to go, and Detroit is not far from a second straight Arena Bowl championship. And on 4th down, Rusty Fricky will kick from his own end zone. It's going to be short. George LaFrance will have his last return of the year. Well, he wanted to get away. He couldn't. He is taken down, and the celebration will begin here in the Motor City. George LaFrance, the Little Caesars MVP for this 1989 season, touching the football there. What a job he's done for this Detroit team. Pittsburgh now takes a timeout. Joe Herring talks it over. There isn't a whole lot they can do right now. But I'll tell you one thing, you know, we looked at that score, Jim, and we did not broadcast that game in Cleveland, which Detroit won 61-34. And on that basis, you would think, boy, this is going to be a mismatch. It has not been, really. Pittsburgh's hung in there.
They really have. They had their opportunities. They drew within 6 points of a tie. And then Detroit struck on a long touchdown. But, you know, have you noticed the intensity level in Detroit? Now, we've seen Detroit 2 previous times, and the intensity level in this game has so far surpassed the games we've seen before.
No question. No question. They have just come out here tonight knowing they have a chance to repeat as champions. And we've got some of the Pittsburgh players jawing with some of the Detroit fans behind the Pittsburgh bench. Some of the Detroit fans celebrating, and
one of the rules is keep your helmet on the bench. You never know.
Well, the fans here are fired up. George LaFrance just ran off the field. I think Detroit had too many men on the field, and LaFrance got to the bench in a hurry. He hurdled the sidelines. Howard Balzer making his way down to the field. We'll hopefully have an interview or two coming up afterwards, time permitting.
The way Detroit has played, they certainly don't need an extra man on the field.
No, not at this point. Well, there's one of our Little Caesars co-MVPs of the game, Alvin Redding.
Oh, he's just had a fabulous game. Pressure all over Taunton this evening, along with Reggie Mathis.
Lynn Bradford. We haven't seen him carry the ball in quite a while. Approaching the 1 minute mark. Well, I don't know if our other co-MVP is Reggie Mathis. Now, I don't know if the fellas in the press box would agree with that selection. These are our choices.
That's right,
Jim. And that's as the fellas in the truck tell us, that's all that counts.
Well, both of them had just had super ball games this evening. Reggie Mathis was putting moves all over Brad Smith. There was a couple times Brad Smith, of course, being the offensive lineman. Brad Smith had his face in the dirt a couple times, going for the fake of Reggie Mathis as he made a move to the outside, then back.
We'll have a chance, presumably, to go for his 4th next year.
And you notice Bradford on that play. You would think at the end of the ball game, you take the ball, hit the dirt, just get out. He just drove that pile 2 yards down.
Well, our budget rental car, Iron Man of the game, number 1 for the Pittsburgh Gladiators, Cornelius Ross. Ross with 2 interceptions tonight. He also returned a fumble, 23 yards for a touchdown that really got Pittsburgh back in the game. Our budget Iron Man of the game for two-way toughness, as tough as budget rental trucks. 3rd and 4. So I'm sure Cornelius Ross might be honored by that, but would probably like the score turned around more than anything right now. 39-26 with 53 seconds to play. Another handoff to who else? Lynn Bradford. Stopped short of the first, but there may be time for one more play, and that'll be it.
Pittsburgh out of timeouts. So Detroit can just take their time and watch this guy. You know? He lost something there.
You know, that's really one of the most bizarre sights I think you'll ever see. It really is. There's
well, what do you? How would you grade out his dancing?
I don't. Get him out of here. 3rd and 4. 12 seconds. We're not going to have another play, I don't think. Oh, Detroit has called timeout. Novo Bojovic is on the field. How about this, Jim Grabowski? With 9 seconds left. Novo giving high fives all around. Tim Markham, his 3rd ArenaBowl championship, just 9 seconds away.
Now, when does Tim start smiling?
Now, I wonder about this, Jim. The decision here, as you mentioned, these teams are going to play each other again. And when is enough enough? Are they really going to kick a field goal? Something we might want to ask in the postgame if we have the opportunity. Novo will kick it from the 16. It's going to be short. Williams will have a chance to return it. That's it. It's over. And the Detroit Drive are the ArenaBowl champions for 1989. Their 2nd straight ArenaBowl championship, 39-26, the final score.
And there you see him, the only man to win the ArenaBowl.
Period.
Period.
Joe Herring, whose team played valiantly here tonight. They came up 13 points short. Tony Burris, the winning quarterback. A happy man right now. There's Alvin Redding, our co-MVP of this game. William McClay in on that. Dwayne Dixon.
That just shows you the condition these guys are in. They can still dance around.
They don't look too tired, do they?
It's amazing what a victory can do for your endurance.
These fans are enjoying it here in Detroit. Well, it's been an amazing season, a season which a lot of people felt might not take place. Not only did it take place, but in a sense, things go according to form because Detroit defends its championship. There's Novo. I don't think he even minds missing that last field goal. I don't think he really
got
his full leg into it. No.
All he wanted to do is get it down there, let them receive the kick, and run out the clock.
39-26, the final. We'll be back to Joe Louis Arena after these messages.
Now, before